Hey everyone, it's Thomas here. So I got my new mic. Hopefully this sounds better. Alright, so today I'm going to make a video because I dropped by my friend's place today and I thought that, yeah, this would be interesting to talk about. And the speaker that we're going to talk about today is the Pioneer S3EX. So you're probably wondering, so why should I care about the Pioneer S3EX? They don't even make it anymore. And it's a speaker that I might not be interested in, but there are two things I learned from today's trip to my friend's place, and I figure it is worth talking about. So let's quickly go over the Pioneer S3EX. So when Andrew Jones went from, I think, Kev to Pioneer, he built this speaker. So basically it's a baby TAD, T-A-D, and TAD speakers are usually maybe 30 to 50,000. And he did something quite amazing. Now, the Pioneer S3EX is the baby model. You have the S1EX, which is the same thing, but with the beryllium tweeter. So what happened is that they had a hard time selling it. High-end audio, Pioneer, really? Like, who would buy that? So as a result, a lot of their speakers got discounted heavily. Now, the S3EX, if I remember correctly, when it first launched, it was $10,000 US. And now if you go on their website, it's still listed about 6,000 US. So that comes close to 10,000 Canadian. Now, who would spend $10,000 on a Pioneer S3EX, a Pioneer speaker? Think about it. Well, I did. And partially it's because it's built by Andrew Jones. So I know, okay, so this is a serious speaker here. And based on what I read, there's some trickle-down technology from the TAD series. So I would say that this was my first high-end speaker. Got it not expensive at all, really cheap. Sadly, I sold it already. And today I dropped by my friend's place because what happened is that I lent him my reference equipment, things that I keep for myself, which is the Modwright LS100, the Bel Canto 1000S amp. So that's my preamp and amp. So he hooked it up to his Pioneer S3EX. Now he has the Hegel HD30, and after he hooked up to my system, he was blown away. He called me up and said, "Thomas, you have to come listen to these speakers." It's interesting. If you look at the Pioneer S3EX, if you look at the specs, I think it goes all the way up to 200 kilohertz. I don't think there's any speaker that I come across that can reach that. I'll put it in the description here just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. Goes down to about 30 hertz, very, very heavy. You can tell that when you're listening to this speaker, it is high-end. And it uses ceramic tweeter, so it's a hard dome based tweeter. It's one of those speakers that's actually dark. For a hard dome tweeter, it's actually dark. And that's one thing I'm not a big fan of. I like sparkling tweeters. This is the kind of speaker that you can listen for a long time. These are musical speakers. So people usually think, you know, hard dome tweeter, they're really sharp and bright. This is one case where it is not. If you look at Andrew Jones, when he worked at Pioneer, you know, he produced some budget speakers. I was looking at interviews at the time, he was voicing them to be a bit laid back, a bit dark. So he did the same thing with these S3EX. The bass on this, they're really incredible. My friend was driving these with his Hegel 300. Yeah, it's good. But these speaker needs power. So when he hooked up my 1000S to it, he was blown away. He never considered Bel Canto because it's Class D. So a lot of audiophiles don't look at Class D because, you know, Class D. Well, I guess that's the thing, right? You never look for things that you don't know. And for him, it was an eye-opener, what Class D can do. Absolutely not dry. He had to turn it on for 48 hours though. That's the problem with the Bel Canto. You keep it on for 48 hours. After that, it's fantastic. Bel Canto, unfortunately, don't work with all speakers. It works with a lot of speakers, like my Canton, like my Earthquake Titan. So that's why I kept these amp. But with the Pioneer, it was fantastic. Liquid smooth, beautiful. So the Pioneer, very musical, really good bass, beautiful voice, amazing sound stage. For me, the separation is so-so. That's my only nitpick with these S3EX. In fact, when I met Andrew Jones, I actually asked him that, why is the separation so-so on it? Never got an answer on that one though. Anyway, so that's not the point. The point is this. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Modwright belongs to me. The Bel Canto, well, it's mine. I had the same speaker. At my home, it doesn't even come close. So that's why it got me thinking, the only thing that's different here is the room and the subwoofer. So we tried without the sub and sub. See, people usually think, oh, you need a sub so that you get the bottom end octave. Yes, it's true, but what people probably don't realize is that when you add a sub to it, it increases the depth of your soundstage. And probably the width too, but the depth for sure. You can tell that, wow, it's not just that bass, that low end punch there. It's more than that. And I love this sub. This is also one of those sub where it goes like, man, I really need to get myself one, because I really don't hear the sub, but I hear the stage and I feel the power. So that's the first thing really caught my attention today. And the second, of course, is the room. What we notice is that at my place, when I push my mod right here, I usually hit about 9, 10 o'clock and I'm done. It's too bright, too loud. At his place, we're pushing up to 12 o'clock. Because sound is controlled there. It's not bouncing everywhere. It's not going crazy. It's comfortable. And these Pioneer are good for, I think, opera. We're listening to that, like that high-pitched voice from the female vocal singer. I said, whoa, if I had my Kev here, it's gonna hurt my ears. But there, with the Pioneer, because it's musical, there's no problem pushing the volume. So the second thing I learned that, today, when I was listening to those speakers, it gives me that high-end experience that I only hear in high-end speakers. And because the room was good, that's where I realized, I go like, yeah, seriously, I had all this. This was all in my home, but because my room is not well controlled, that's why I was never able to bring out the full potential. We were like blown away, man. The sound stage was just stupid wide. It was incredible. All right, so I'm gonna close the video right now. The Pioneer S3EX, it got me thinking about something that's very interesting. It makes me wonder, how are speakers priced? Are they priced based on the sound? Are they priced based on the material cost, the research cost, and so forth? Because the problem with speakers, the way I see it, is like a vicious circle. Because these Pioneers are only 6,000, well, just follow me. Therefore, the people who buy it will never treat it like a $20,000 speaker. So therefore, the people who buy it will always drive it with just entry high-end audio, maybe 2,000, 3,000, max 4,000. Because they drive it with $3,000, $4,000 equipment, so therefore these Pioneer can never reach that performance that is capable of. So therefore people say, okay, yeah, this is worth about 5,000, 6,000. So that's why I say it's too bad, because if you think about it, these speakers are designed by Andrew Jones. This is a baby Tad speaker. If you treat it like a $15,000 speaker, it will perform. These speakers are up there. Keep in mind that these speakers are more for people who like musical speakers rather than analytical speakers. You can play them loud because of the fact they don't hurt your ears. Good for opera and so forth, as I mentioned. Not 100% my taste, because as those of you who follow me know that I'm not into dark speakers. I like neutral speakers. My friend here who owns them said that, whoa man, if it's any more bright than this, he won't be able to handle it. So that's why he doesn't like Kev, he doesn't like Focal, right? Everybody has the different tastes. So I guess this reminds me of the story, this conversation I had with Mr. Bukhar. So for those of you who haven't seen the video that I did on the S300, go check it out. So Mr. Bukhar builds, their company builds a very nice speaker, the S300. Now, I love that speaker. And what he told me is that when he brings these speakers to an audio show, people are blown away by them. Of course, because they know how to drive these speakers. They give good front end to it, and they bring out the full maximum potential of it. The problem is that because the speaker is priced so low, relatively speaking, $1,000-something, people don't respect it as a high-end speaker. So therefore, people who buy it drives it with maybe what, $500, $1,000 front end. So because of that, the speaker doesn't deliver. Because you're driving with a mediocre front end. So sometimes I wonder, maybe you should have just priced that speaker $3,000. Then people who buy $3,000 speakers would take it seriously, and they will go buy some serious front end to go with it. Because they have serious front end to go with it, they'll bring out the full potential of the S300, and that's why they're worth $3,000. Anyway, just crazy thought that goes through my head. I thought that I'll raise it, and so you guys can think about it too. What determines the price of a speaker? It's gonna take a while for my next video to upload because I'm super busy. All right, till next time.